Hi, I'm Cold Girl.
And I'm the blind redhead.
Welcome to Blind and Brown.
Let's get into it.
So I found this really interesting thing, and I wanted to bring it to your attention.
Okay.
I heard about this study that had these wild results, and I was like, that's really fascinating. Mm-hmm. So these researchers took these pairs of people and that were complete strangers, and they basically put them like in a room, like each pair, and they had them do this. It's called the Fast Friends experiment. And so the goal was like, can people develop in-depth relationships or like relationships that have meaning? Can they develop them quickly? The interesting thing was all these pairs, they go through this whole experiment, right?
Okay.
And then the researchers are like, okay, thanks, see you later. And so then the researchers reach out to each person 6 weeks later. They did not give them any contact information of the other person. It was completely like, okay, see you later. The researchers called them and they were like, hey, by any chance, have you been in contact with the person that you were paired with? Mm-hmm. And they had an 80% yes rate, which is wild. And so there's people that all I knew was like, this person's name was John. And like, I thought their last name might have started with S. So I like did some like digging and ended up finding John S. and like reconnecting. And then
so they were like, oh, I know we're not supposed to be in contact anymore, or we didn't give you any contact information, but I must know who this person is because we had a great time.
Yeah, but what's wild is like 80% of the participants did that. That's what's insanity to me.
Yeah, that's wild.
That is a huge percentage. But one of the couples that were pairs, I should say, that did it, they ended up connecting, and then ultimately they ended up getting married, which is kind of hilarious. Yeah, they ended up getting married, and then at their wedding, they ended up having like bowls of like the questions that were in this Fast Friends survey, and like that was part of their like wedding activities, is like people getting to know each other.
Okay, that's cute.
Yeah, right. There's a whole bunch of rules, which I'll put it in the description link, a link to the actual thing. So if people want to go and
meet the love of their life.
Yeah, I'm not guaranteeing that. I am not guaranteeing that.
You already have a love of your life. Just letting you know before we do this.
That's true. I do have to say, I did, I was telling her about these, and I did ask her if she would be willing to do the questions with me. And it was really funny because she was like, really kind of hesitant, but she was like, okay, like we can do the questions. And so I like start going through the questions, and we only made it through the first set. There's 3 sets.
Oh my gosh.
We only made it through the first set. And it was so funny because I was like, I did actually, there were things that I was like, oh, that's really interesting. Like, I guess I've never thought to ask you that.
Huh. Okay.
And so it's like, I didn't really learn anything new, but I like with her specifically, but like, I definitely was like, I've never asked you that question. And that is kind of an interesting question to answer. So, but yeah, so I thought, okay, maybe like, I don't want to get into, and if you're okay with this, I don't want to get into like some of the wild questions. Like, I don't really need to know like question 30. Like question 30 is, when did you last cry in front of another person? Like, we don't need to do those. Like and also these questions, like as you go through the sets, they build up. Like each one builds up to another. But I figured it might be fun to just kind of like pick and choose a few from the first set, and just like,
see if we get close.
See what that, see, it's not fair because like this, I think this works best with strangers. Like, it's supposed to be like an icebreaker. And actually, I will say, I have pocketed a few of these questions just in general because I was looking at it and I was kind of like, I would be interested to ask my parents like some of these questions. Okay, we're going to just start with the easy one right off the bat.
Okay.
So given the choice of anyone in the world, whom would you want as a dinner guest? I am available.
I love how this is the easiest question and that you said that you were available because so my first thoughts My first thoughts were like, oh my God, I feel like I've been asked this question before on like a first date and I like never saw them again because I was like, I hate this question.
Yeah. Well, it's not, I think that's why it's first, is because you get the question that's like kind of a standard and then.
Yeah, and then you dive deeper into it. Well, and then it's just like
Right.
then I become the like annoying, pretentious person because okay, to be fair, if I am obsessing over someone in this like obsessing over like some sort of like research like YouTube
Yes.
hole or like Google hole that I've like gone into, like okay, 1,000% I will have a person for you or like a animal or like something.
Right.
Once I said animal, I'm thinking about that like hippo that's been like memeified everywhere. From the zoo.
Okay, great. So you would have a hippo as your dinner guest just in this moment, which is fine.
In this moment, yes. But then I also
think that's
think about
beautiful. Yeah.
yeah, they're great. We could be in the water. We could hang out. But then I think like I get like so that's like one of the like if I'm in that space, yeah, that's my answer. But then if I'm in like, oh, I need to think of like a cool person that like the one like my actual answer of like who would I actually really want to see or like have dinner with and like pick their brain. I have no idea. I probably would pick you. I'd be like, yeah, let's go because we're hanging
great.
out. It'd be a good
Yeah,
time.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just, yeah. I think, honestly, for the most part, I think you can kind of grab a glass of wine with pretty much anyone and
Have a good
make a
time.
good time out of it.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm like, if I have to choose anyone in the world, I'm like, well, one of
There's-
the people I enjoy the most is my spouse.
Yeah.
But also, I'd be very interested to hang out with Lin-Manuel Miranda. And this is why, because I think like he specifically loves musical theater so much that my spouse would already be there, and then I would be able to like pair them up, and they could just talk about musical theater while I watch. And like Lin-Manuel Miranda, genius, absolute genius. But like, I don't know. It is kind of this like weird question,
Right?
But I'm moving on.
But hold on.
Okay.
I would also like to add that I would love to have a dinner guest that like has really good taste in food, so I don't have to pick. And I'll just like know that it'll be great and we'll have a good time. So maybe some super chef.
I did ask my wife. I was like, "Hey," I asked her the question. She's like, "Well, am I cooking for this person?" And I'm like, "Sure." And then she was like, "I don't want to invite anybody." And I was like, "You're a phenomenal cook."
Oh
and
my
she's
God.
like,
I know,
"No, but
delicious.
but
I
don't
love
wanna,
eating
like,
over at your place.
Yeah, but she's like, I don't want anyone that I want to meet. Like, I don't want them to like make judgments about me because I cooked for them. I'm like, you can order takeout, it's fine. Or do what you said and invite a chef and be like, part of the dinner
Is
includes
that
you cooking for me.
You get to cook for me. Thank you so much. All right, next question.
Okay, yeah.
Having a
there's
great
no way we're gonna
time.
get through all these. Would you like to be famous? If yes, in what way?
I just don't know what does famous mean these days? Like influencer
I think
famous,
No, I
like Kim
I think it
Kardashian
means
famous.
Yeah, I think it's like kind of all encompassing. Like if someone said your name or saw you on the street, like you get waved at or people approach you and talk to you. Like I think that's the type of famous that they're talking about. However, the second part of the question does say in what way. So I guess you could define it. If I was going to be famous, I would want to be famous how Alan Silvestri is famous. He's a composer who did like the Avengers and like Back to the Future. He literally can walk anywhere and go anywhere and nobody knows who he is. And
Yeah, I
like,
think I would like to do that too. I'd love to be like an artist type of famous where like
Yeah.
not like Andy Warhol, but like an artist of my time right now that is doing really well and also making really great art,
Yeah.
And so that like
Yeah.
the people that would approach me would be people that actually have like a really good like would actually resonate with what I'm making as opposed to like, oh, you're cool or everyone knows
that's
you.
solid. No, I love that. Well, it's great too because like if you're being featured in an installation or an art gallery, people who are there and appreciating those things, and maybe you're doing a show like at those places, people will be interested to talk to you and actually like want to interact with you. And I think that like, if what I'm hearing you say correctly is like, you're interested in being, if you were to choose fame, it would be fame with actual like authenticity and connection.
Ideally, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
There are many things we
But-
can say about all these industries as well, right? Where it's like, is it really authentic? But ideally, yes. At least the art is
Yeah.
there and it can be seen, just like the composing,
Yeah.
the music, and the sound.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm also thinking about
okay.
this thing. Sorry, I have so many things.
No, tell me.
Okay, I like, but I'm thinking about how like there was this article I read one time, like like when I was in college and like studying design, and someone like I think it was like Jessica Hish or something. She's like an illustrator, typographer type person. She redid a bunch of book covers for classics, and I think they were seen everywhere. It's like this very, very recognizable style if you saw it. But she said one time that like being a famous graphic designer is like being a famous plumber. And like no one actually really knows who you are. And I'm like,
I was thinking that you have to deal with a bunch of
I mean, yeah, that too, probably. But yeah, it's like they don't really know who you are, but they know who you are.
Okay, so question 3. So before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you're going to say?
Yes, because I do not like making phone calls most of the time. I'll have to like take a moment to like really think about what I want, because then when I don't actually, then I'm always like, oh, I called and I don't know how to talk on the phone unless it's a friend. Yeah. I find that customer service people are a lot nicer when you're nice. And so then I end up getting into like all these conversations with people. I think I remember one time that this lady was like, okay, I'm going to process it and then just call the hotline back in like 30 minutes. It should work. It should have gone through and then you can continue on. And I was like, okay. And she's like, I hope I talk to you again. And I'm like, that would be so nice.
Oh my God. Oh, I love that so much.
Yeah. And it happened. Like, I feel like that kind of that's something that I've learned how to do because I'm awkward on phones. So I'm just like, everyone just needs to be my friend. This is a survival tactic.
I will rehearse for calls that I feel that are important, but like also I don't do this anymore because of this experience. I used to answer unknown numbers.
Oh my God.
I didn't recognize it. And I would answer it and I'd be like, hi, what do you need? Or like, what do you want? Or like something like I would either, depending on my mood, I would be really rude or be really friendly. And one time I answered, I'm like, hi, how are you? And it was this like sweet old lady who thought she called her grandchild.
Oh.
And she starts talking to me. She's like, oh, I just wanted to call you. I was thinking about you. And I just really, miss you.
You're like,
and I hope to see you soon. And I'm like, well, I'm trapped in this conversation now. So I continued the conversation as their grandchild.
What?
and was
as
like,
their grandchild?
And I was like, oh, I miss you so much. Like looking back, I'm like, I probably should have let her know like, oh, this is the wrong number. So sorry. But I didn't. And I just kept it going. And I hope to God that grandmother did not die. I was the last conversation with the grandchild. I hope that, but anyway, so anyway, now I just do what the normal peoples do and
not answer.
Just don't answer it. Just don't answer it.
Just let it go to voicemail.
Okay. So this one, if you could wake up tomorrow having gained any one quality or ability,
I'd be able to learn languages.
Oh, that is such a good one.
I could just be saying that because I'm on a 5-day streak on Duolingo. I just started again. And I have like 4 languages that I want to learn immediately before this goes away.
That's valid. Yeah, no. Me and Duo are not on speaking terms at the moment. That's great. I love that. I think very similarly, there's a movie called Phenomenon starring John Travolta, And
Okay.
I've always wanted that ability. He just has the ability to take in information, kind of goes hand in hand with your learning languages,
Right?
take in information and just have this vast wealth of knowledge and like ability to basically like, I think one time, like in the movie, he has like a book fair of like all the books he's read. And I was like, that's cool.
That would be
That's
so fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to do one last question.
Okay.
Keep in mind, we've only done a handful out of the entire 36, but it's fine. So I'll end with like
36 is wild.
it is a lot. So this exercise is supposed to take 45 minutes per set, and there's 3 sets.
45 minutes per set.
I think the interesting thing about it is like at the end of the day, all this is really promoting is like conversation.
Yeah.
Like, really. Like if you're just having a conversation with somebody, like you don't have to do this, but like people are bad at starting conversations and filling the gaps. And so I think
True.
something like this enables you to get a little bit more personal with somebody than necessarily would initially think. Maybe this is me being cynical, but like sometimes when I'm like talking with somebody, especially like at like networking events or something, there's always this thing in the back of my head of like, are you here to take advantage of me? Am I here to take advantage of you? What are we doing? Like, can you get me a job? Like, do you need me to get you a job? Like,
Yeah.
you
Like,
know,
what
and
are you
so-
really here for?
Yeah, if I'm going to be honest, sometimes I do go to the networking things to hopefully find work or connections for work. I think these questions are a little bit more of like a, hey, let's try to be like sincere and
Yeah, like, let's get-
honest.
Let's actually try to get to know, because it is interesting that it's starting conversations. And I'm also starting
Yeah.
to like, I'm also thinking about how now I'm having an existential thing because I'm like, I automatically go into dates closed. Like I'm like, oh, that's a
Right,
dumb question.
yeah.
But then it's because,
Right.
because you're asking me and we have a relationship, I'm like, sure,
Yeah.
let me find
Yeah.
a fun answer, which
Right.
is telling me a lot about myself right now. This is, I don't know how I feel right.
Okay, well then this is perfect. This question. I'm going to end our session with this.
Okay.
What is your most treasured memory?
Oh my God, that is such a tough one.
Do you have one off
Okay.
the top of your head?
Okay, so I'm just gonna say the one that came to my head first. I don't know if
Perfect.
it's like, yeah, I don't know if it's like the most, but I also had to think about like, is this a real memory or something that someone has told me? Because I was a kid.
Yeah.
And so, and then the story that I was about to tell in my head while you were asking the question was actually a story that was told to me. So I don't actually remember it. So I'm going to tell the part
Okay.
that I actually remember, which was
Okay.
when I was little, my dad was in the military. So he was gone 6 months out of the year. He was in the Navy, so it's like Westpac. So he was gone 6 months out of the year, and there were like no cell phones then, and like not really at least. And there was still spotty connection and stuff like that. So the best way to contact each other was through mail. And so they would just like mail a letter whenever they were at a port or at a base. And then we would mail one back to whichever one they were going to next or whatever. And he would tell us which one he was going to next. And so I remember getting letters in the mail from him. And I think I just really like getting letters. I think there's
That's
something
really
about
sweet.
that because I would get letters from him, and then that also reminded me of like letters from my pen pal growing up. I had a pen pal, I still do.
Cute. Is it the
Yeah.
same one?
Yes, I met
That's
her.
so cute.
I also met her in a Navy base when I was living there as a kid in Hawaii. And we parted ways and like a year into us living in the same base. And our parents had this great idea that we should be pen pals. And so I think for the first like few years, we didn't really know how to write. So like our parents were writing for us. But then
Amazing.
as when we got older, we started writing each other. And I still have not seen her since I was like maybe 4 or 5 or something.
Wow, but you're still communicating.
Yeah. We see each other on the internet.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah.
That's so cute. That's a good one. That's
yeah.
really good.
But yeah, my dad's letters, I think, were the ones that came into my head first because they were just really sweet. And he's not like a very vocal person, but his
Yeah.
letters were always like very sweet. What is your most treasured memory?
See, that's a hard question because I think that Like there's so many things that I've been like grateful for and have had opportunities to do. And like I have so many like treasured memories with my wife. Like I love all the things that we've done. And I actually think my treasured memory probably like it definitely involves her. If I have to, it's not one singular memory. It's actually, we took a year and we traveled around the country. And we were just kind of like nomads for a year. And don't get me wrong, like it was stressful, like packing everything in your car and just like going across country is very intense, but like it also created this really amazing, like just bond between us. And then also like we got to see the country and see things we've never seen before and go and spend a lot of time with people that we don't normally get to spend a lot of time with. So that's kind of like, I get, it's not necessarily a treasured memory, more like treasured experience.
Yeah,
But-
which I think it is a memory, because that is a memory. That experience is lumped into something.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's yeah, I think whenever I think back to that moment, there's parts I don't miss, but there's definitely there's that feeling that I'm like, oh my gosh, like I get all warm and fuzzy about it. And so
Yeah.
but anyway, so
That is
awesome.
really
Well,
cool.
okay. I advise everyone to go and do the 36 questions yourself. I think you will find that you will learn something about yourself, 100%.
Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely. I'm literally over here just like, wait, why didn't I say my dog? That was the best memory of my life when I called my dog.
Right, I know. Yeah.
I'm the worst mother ever.
No, yeah. Oh my God. Anyway. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody, and we will talk to you next time.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening. We really appreciate you tuning in.
Don't forget to follow us on our socials to stay updated and connect with us between episodes. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram at Blind and Brown Podcast.
We'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to drop us a message or tag us in your posts.
Until next time, take care and thanks for listening.